and creator of Spirit Flow shamanic study programs. She has studied the healing arts for over 30 years. Mary works with Shipibo shamans living in the Amazon basin of Peru and just got back from Peru, so that's exciting. She's still in another dimension, so we'll welcome her back to this one. Gaining the expert experiences that shape her into the shamanic leader she is today. She holds a doctoral degree in psychology and is certified in health and wellness consultation. Mary continues to strive to build a better world with her drive to bring shamanic teachings to all in an easy to understand way that allows the concepts to be applied in this contemporary world. Based out of Minneapolis, she travels extensively, partnering with other visionary leaders in the field to deliver life-changing shamanic experiences. Dr. Newstrom runs Zenith High Training and Wellness Center in St. Louis Park, and she is excited to be here today. And Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, help me welcome Dr. Mary Newstrom.
Thank you so much. And thank you for welcoming me back to talk to you again today. As he mentioned, I just got back from Peru, and I've been working with the people shamans over the last 8 years, studying and leading retreats, and next year I'll be taking people as well that want to go deeper with their spirituality. A little bit more about me, as it already has been mentioned, my name is Mary Newstrom. I'm a shamanic teacher, and I have been keyed into my spirituality or drawn to my spirituality since a little girl. I grew up blue collar in the Crystal New Hope area, went to a Catholic grade school, and with that really fell in love with the rituals and the ancient practices that Catholicism has with their mass and their services. But like many people, I've moved on from that religion, but never really lost my love for or curiosity for rituals and being involved in a spirituality. I love being in nature, love being grounded and going camping and connecting to nature, trees and nature spirits, animals. And with that's really exposed me to a world filled with awe. And started working with my spiritual guides in the 80s. So I've been working with my guardian angels for a very long time. One came to me particularly in a dream, and maybe some have come to you. And at that point, the message was work on yourself, and then when you have moved on to a particular point, you'll be able to help other people. And so the guide that came to me, he shared his name. His name's Zenith, and I've named my practice after him. He's all excited about that. And he and I have been working together, but since then, I've also worked with a number of other spiritual guides as well. With my background too, I always like to bring up that as I was working with Zenith, and that was right around 82, I also got attuned to Reiki 1, so I've been attuned to Reiki for a long time. I've gone on and become a master in Reiki as well. But then I had very traditional jobs. I had, and also very traditional education. Bachelor's degree, master's, PhD. So I've really gone down a different path where I was going deeper with my spirituality, different dimensions, and then also then getting a very traditional type of experience in this world of education and relationships and jobs, working in the corporate setting, nonprofits, worked for the lobbying, so all different types of things I've been exposed to. But what happened was, as I was doing that, so going on with my life, never really could connect to a certain type of spirituality. So I had the foundation of Catholicism, knew I didn't want that, but I also was exploring things like paganism and Wicca, thinking, well, they're nature-based, why aren't I connecting? And I never really got the answer, except then when I traveled to Peru the first time and connected with shamanism, that's when I understood, oh, that was the spirituality that really solidified things. And with working with the Shipibo shamans, I was able then to get really a lot more guidance in coming back, doing educational workshops, doing retreats, and so on. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. What I want to talk about, I want to talk a little bit about the theme for the center this month is being in awe. And I want to talk a little bit about that, what that means. And then I'm going to take us through a couple exercises. And one of the things that I like to do, that my guides do, I just facilitate. And I want to be clear, all this, what I do, I'm just the talking person, but the guides are really the ones, my guardian angels, spirit guides, that's what we call them in shamanism, are really the ones that are offering this to you. So what I hope to do is also show you how you can access different dimensions. They've taught me how to help people do that, and so what I want to do is also share that with you. But first, let's talk about the theme. So the theme for the month is being in awe. So what does that mean? So I thought, okay, I was getting ready for this talk, and I thought, well, what do people do nowadays? Google. What does awe mean? You know, because I have an educational background. I want to know what the definition is. I just don't want to make it up. And so when I Googled the meaning of awe, what came up was an overwhelming feeling of reverence, okay, admiration, this one surprised me, fear, produced by that which is grand and extremely powerful, such as God or higher power, whatever word you want to use. So that was what came up with Google. I ask you to ponder, when do you feel in awe? Do you feel like that definition is correct? You know, I might question the fear one, but maybe not. I mean, because if you see something like you go and you see this powerful waterfall, like Niagara Falls or something, it's so powerful, maybe you respect it in a fearful way, like, oh, I don't want to go in a barrel and go over that, like some people have. But so maybe the fear is the only one that I might not agree with. But when do you feel in awe? When are you overwhelmed with feelings of reverence? That would be when you're feeling there's awe. Is it a beautiful sunset? Being out in nature? Being with family and loved ones? You know, if you're meeting a new grandchild, sometimes that can be like, wow, right? Wow. Or do you feel in awe when you come here in community? When you're with spirit? When do you feel in awe? I think gratitude and awe go hand in hand. Let me explain that a little bit more. When we're grateful of things, we tend to be in awe of them, meaning reverence, appreciate. We appreciate the goodness around us. Being in awe keeps your energy and your heart open and receptive for receiving even more awe-inspiring energy. So what you feed grows. If you are in awe and you are grateful for things, you're going to have more of that coming back. And it doesn't mean that there's more that's provided for you. It means there's more that you're recognizing, that you're acknowledging, and that you're aware of. That's why it's so important to continue to approach life in your daily activities with this energy of reverence, of appreciation, of awe. How do you show How do you show gratitude and live in the energy of awe? And you can start small by, at the end of the night, making a list, 5, 10, whatever you want to start with, 2, 3. What are you grateful for that happened that day? And even better, if you can put afterwards, it filled me with awe, reverence. Right? So you want to start a gratitude list. At the end of the day, make your list. Sit in gratitude and awe of your life. And that way you'll start connecting to that energy of gratitude, of awe, of appreciation, being with spirit. What you do, what happens when you do this is amazing because it opens up opportunities for you to be in that energy. And right before I came, there was a great drumming circle, and we know that the energy was the vibration, frequency, whatever you want to call it, was raised because we were drumming. Also, what we're thinking, or the energy and words, everything's at a frequency and energy. And so when you make your gratitude list and you're sitting in awe, or you're sitting with being grateful for your life, your frequency goes up. And what happens with that is allowing you and allowing that energy to come in. And once again, it's just mostly acknowledging that energy's out there. You start seeing more awe-inspiring things. And then maybe that leads to a longer list, a longer gratitude list at the end of the night. So maybe in a couple months you have a list that's going to be like 15, 20, I'm thankful for everything. And remember, being thankful, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to show gratitude like something major happened. When I used to work in the corporate setting downtown, and I would walk up to the elevator banks, and by the luck, one would open right when I got there, right? No one's in it, so ding! I would be like, thank you. Those are the types of things that, and I can tell by reactions you know what I'm talking about. So those go on your list. And that one might not be an awe-inspiring one, but maybe like an awe-inspiring one would be our weather today, maybe not for some of you, or our sunrise, double rainbow, whatever. The key thing is, in shamanic terms, and I think anybody that works with energy understands, where we put our focus, so what we feed, because we're focused on it, that's what grows in our life. That's what grows. So if you're focused on gratitude and appreciation, filling your life with awe, that's what's going to return. And for some of you that might be sitting there going, yeah, right, Mary, I don't know. It might not be overnight, because remember, everything's a training process too. So if this is new to you, if this is new idea, or you maybe are going through a tougher patch and so you're skewing more negative, it takes a while for that energy really to turn too, but it does. And just think of it as like, if you find yourself not feeding what you want, so maybe a little negative, just catch yourself and pull that energy back and then feed it with the positive. Think about it right now. What are you focused on? Are you growing in your garden of life beautiful flowers? Beautiful, birds and sunsets? Or does your garden of life look a little dull? Or are there a few weeds you need to pick? Well, you can go pick them and you can throw them, right? We can all grow and focus on kindness, love, more abundance for everyone through energetic work and focus. And then going out and helping others with our actions. By acknowledging that the energy of what we're focused on is a first step. And then our actions must follow up and support that of what we're focused on. So I want to be clear, I'm not just saying, okay, if you focus on love and light and your actions do not follow that up, there may not be as much return. So what you'd want to do is have your gratitude list, and then if there are things that you want to fix or accomplish or create for a better world, your actions have to follow that too. If you want to see the environment cleaned up, or you want to work on climate change or ending food scarcity, it would mean also that's where you want to focus your energy of the idea that that can come to an end or can be alleviated, but you also need to do the actions as well. That would do that. My dissertation focused on those who achieve in society and what some people might consider high achievers. And so I focused on high achievers, and what I discovered with my research is those that are high achievers or movers and shakers, and they follow their heart with intense action. Meaning they put action with their heart's desire. So they have a desire for some type of achievement. But that can be anything. You can have a desire like, I'm concerned about climate change, because we all know it's very hot and everything's been odd with the weather. Like I mentioned, I've spent 8 years going back to Tarapoto, Peru, and this year was unbelievably hot. So I can clearly see, particularly the last 2 years. Last year, the shamans came running to me saying, something kind of exploded somewhere. They didn't know what quite the words of English to put it into, but they were talking about it's so hot. And when I went back this year, it was even hotter. So when I started going, the days would be a lovely like 70, maybe lower 80s. It was mid 90s, close to 100 this year. Very, very different. Are those little flukes? Clearly, the climate is changing. We know that. So my point is with my dissertation, I noticed that the high achievers, movers and shakers, people that are concerned, put action with their concern. They do things. And the common trait that I found with all of these high achievers, or people that can create change, they follow their passion with an internal fire that can't be snuffed out. They're internally driven. So when someone says to you, you can't do that, when you have an internal drive, they double down. They say, I'm just going to try harder. Or I'm going to change my strategy if it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't mean that you're blindly going out and doing things, but you're being smart about it. But the one thing I've noticed with people who create change, who are making a difference, is they really use that internal drive to guide them. And where does that come from? I would say, as a spiritual person, it comes from spirit. With my research, I'd have to research more to know if it was nature or nurture, but I almost think it's nature, how you came down, but anything can be polished. Actually, one of the shamans said to me in this visit, my role was clear, just to simply be polishing my internal crystal. She was using a metaphor, polish, so that I can hope to polish yours as well. So I throw out these ideas for you all to ponder. But that internal drive really is what sets people apart. And the key is to find out and to understand what's your fire, what's your passion. Many people come up to me all the time and say, Mary, can you help me figure out my life's purpose? And that's a tough one because that's so personal. So these people that create change, and I think that some of the individuals I'm talking about are well known. You can think of celebrity people in the paper or social media. And we sometimes are filled with awe, like, wow, what they can achieve. But they achieve that at great discipline, too. They're motivated by whatever that internal drive is. As I mentioned, I think that really comes from spirit. They're tapped into what lights their fire so that they're able, let's say it's a high achieving person that's like a doctor, they're able to go in there, study and practice their craft. It's someone working on climate change or saving the environment, food scarcity. And they approach their day differently with an intrinsically motivated action. And they approach their day and tasks with reverence, focus, and concentration that puts them in a different flow of energy, a flow of gratitude, a flow of appreciation and understanding, awe. That's how they approach their lives. You may be thinking, well, how can I tap into that inner wisdom of intrinsic motivation? And my suggestion would be is what you want to is quiet the mind. Take a walk in nature. Don't have earbuds in though, listening to someone else or a podcast or music. Take that walk in nature and see what type of messages you're hearing. You might hear them from the guardians of the forest, that you might hear them from your own guardian angels. But that's how you're going to tap into what is your intrinsic, passionate motivation. If you like to meditate, continue meditating or start meditating. The key thing, though, is allowing spirit to come in and communicate what is your passion, what's your soul purpose. How are you to fill the world with your awe? You need to allow time for that to come in. Journal about it. This whole conversation with you today was downloaded to me when I was journaling in Peru, and I just worked on fine-tuning things when I got back. But journal about it, because as you do, you're working things out, more things are coming in. Talk to others. Talk to others, have conversations. Really work on developing a community, as you already have here, and exploring all these different ideas. What's your passion? How do you want to create change in the world? What is your intrinsic fire surrounding your purpose? What are you passionate about? What's your soul's purpose? Those questions will be revealed the more and more you are able to have silence and allow them to come in. And you know what? I'm there with you thinking, I get home, I might turn on the TV or even reading. Or I know someone that listens to podcasts all the time. And they sound really interesting when he tells me what he's learning. But I think if you are constantly in chatter, you can't hear your own guides to really answer the question, where do I fit in? Then comes the paradox. Sometimes not knowing things is where you're supposed to be. So we could go deeper and go very, very deep on this. So as I'm saying, hey, listen to your life's purpose and understand where's your intrinsic passion, that will take you very far. Sometimes the whole journey is what you're meant to come down and learn. So don't get frustrated, don't get bummed that if you're sitting here going, oh, I don't know my life's purpose, I don't know my passion. That's okay. You want to maybe work on, like I said, are you hearing and seeing the omens when you walk in nature? Are you seeing the messages? Are you welcoming them in? Are you then pondering and thinking about them? You feeling them with your heart? And maybe some of you feel it when I'm saying, do you hear it or see it? Some of you, I'm sure, feel messages from spirit more in your body. Do you feel a tingling? So however you're going to pick up that energy. Just remember, too, what you feed grows. And as you put your attention into an area and you follow up that with action, more and more will come your way. So if your intention is to understand, hey, how can I fill the world with my awe, my passionate fire for an issue or life, being vibrant, being the best grandmother, best mother, father, that's a great passion to have. What I'd like to do is take us through my first exercise for you. And I learned, it's transfiguring, and I know there's different techniques out there with transfiguring. I learned this one with Sandra Ingerman. I studied one-on-one with her for many years. I call it the circle of light meditation. And what it is it will raise your vibration. It will quiet the mind. So some of you may like this technique, and then you can use it for whenever you want to. What you want to visualize is the sun coming into your solar plex, your tummy area, and this expanding out with your body. And then, but after it's filled your body, it can then go out into the rest of the room. And what happens is it just naturally raises the vibration of you. And we already know from our drumming this morning that once our vibration's raised, people next to you, their frequency and vibration goes up just naturally. Okay, good. So this is a good technique. I usually teach this one around the holidays, but there's still a lot of family stuff going on now. And so because let's say there's a little mayhem or there's some drama going on with family, you can do this in the next room, and as your vibration is spreading into all the rooms of the house, everyone's vibration or frequency is going up, and hopefully the drama's coming down. Hopefully. Okay, so I'm going to rattle. So this is, once again, this is what we're going to practice. And we'll do it only about 5 to 7 minutes. What'll happen is, this technique seems pretty simple, but if you aren't a meditator or you haven't done this, sometimes doing it longer is a little fatiguing. So we're only going to do about 5 minutes. Plus I have another exercise I really want to make sure we get to. So this is what you do, is you're just going to, for those that know how to ground yourself, drop your grounding cords, just feel connected to the earth. Because the other thing is, sometimes I think people don't understand that to do strong spiritual work, you need to be connected to earth. Okay, so we're dropping our grounding cords, and then the next step is to visualize the sun coming to you. You're not going to the sun's coming to you because we're grounded. So we bring in that sun energy, just a big light source, just think of that, into your tummy, solar plex, and then what you want to do is just allow it to start radiating and filling out your tummy and your whole body. And then once it's expanded beyond your body, going into the rest of the room. And actually, if you also then expand it to the room, it can go out into the environment. This is a great way to heal the environment. There's been research done on this, that raising the vibration by transfiguring can help trees and water and everything. And if you slip up and you feel like, oops, my mind wandered, just start again. All right, so about 5 minutes. Bring in that sun energy. No agenda, but to just be with the energy. Really let it radiate out. Some of you may be feeling hot or a little buzz or relaxation. Just a couple more minutes. Stay with the energy if you can, or start again. All right, come on back. In this situation, you do not need to disconnect from the sun because we're all one, so the light source, but kind of sit with that energy. And I'd invite you to add this to your daily routine, or when you're feeling a little bit out of sorts. Connecting with nature, the sun, will just automatically raise that vibration. And over time, you're going to be able to do it longer too. But you can feel the effects that even this short time helped, and it will help whoever is around you as well. As you do it, as I mentioned, the only intention is with yourself. So there's no issues about, hey, what's if other people want it or not. They'll do whatever they are meant to do with the vibrational frequency. So you want to just welcome in that energy source, raise your vibration, and let it transfigure. And as I mentioned, actually Sandra Ingerman was the one that did the research. She and a group of people many years ago were by this stream that the pH had been thrown off because of pollution, and they went there day after day and did exactly this technique, and the pH changed. Through transfiguring, they were able to create some slight improvements with the environment. That just jogged my memory, so I'm going to bring up this story too. When I was in her, and this is about transfiguring or our energy, how our energy can affect people, and I realize that most or maybe all of you understand this, but it's an interesting story where I was talking to another practitioner, and she was from like Denmark or Sweden, and she was is an animal communicator too, as well as a shamanic practitioner. And there was a horse that was sick, and she went to the farm, and she was working on the horse. But remember, she can communicate, so she's doing the energy work, and the animal says to her, "Don't work on me, work on my owner," or whatever word they used for that. "Work on my person. Their frequency's so low, they're making me ill." Okay, so ponder that. Wow. So we flip that, because remember, we're feeding positive things. We're going to flip that. If we raise our frequency, our pets, our kids, our neighbors, co-workers, their frequency is going to go up, their vibration. Okay. All right. Okay. As I mentioned, I do a lot of work in Peru, and I want to invite you to consider coming with me next year if you would like to work with my shamans, June 25th through July 5th. And if next year's not your year, maybe the year after. But it'll be my 9th annual next year, and then the 10th annual. I also created a school. It's called Spirit Flow Shamanic Studies Program. It's a multi-year school that teaches people about the foundations of shamanism. So what you're getting here is a little taste of that, but we dive deep into knowing who's on our spiritual team, who's our guardian angels, who's our spirit guides, spirit animals, and how we can work with them in creating our intrinsic, passionate purpose here, and then having the actions to follow through with that. Have a lot of workshops and seminars coming up. Afterwards, people can sign up for my newsletter. It's right out there, and I have a few handouts people can take. Over the last 4 years, working with the Shipibo shamans, I work with plant medicine, ayahuasca, but in addition with that, what I've been doing is working with other high vibrational plants, because my role as a teacher, and I've been working with one that's called the Tree of Light over 3 years. Very high vibration, one of the highest vibrational plants that I've ever worked with. And I want to introduce you to that spirit, the spirit of the tree. The legend is that with this particular tree, it's so rare, there's only 5 still in the wild areas of Peru. It's Norel Royale, and like I said, it translates into Tree of Light. So I'm going to lead you on a guided meditation and introduce you for a deep healing. So this will be a healing. And what you want to do is just be grounded and then follow my guidance. So I'm going to lead us into a forest, and we're going to see the tree. And then what I'm going to do is rattle as you kind of sit in that energy. I'm also going to tone. There's seed sounds associated with our different chakras, and I'll tone to balance those. So you will leave today with a deep healing and your chakras balanced and recharged. Okay? All right. And like I said, I want to just recognize that when I say see something, some people may be like, I don't see anything, I just feel. That's all understood. Okay, so drop those grounding cords again. Take a few deep breaths. And this is going, like I said, some of this, just before we technically get started, some of this you do have to make up, so don't be like, oh, I don't know if I'm making it up. Well, you have to make up a little bit of it, because you have to follow my instructions. But if you just kind of go with the flow, Spirit, my guides and your guides will come and take you through to the different dimension. All right. So, drop the grounding cords, listening to my voice, energetically stand up, and we're walking out the front door of the center. And as we do, we're now entering into a beautiful field. And it's a perfect day. It's not too hot, not too cold. The sun's coming down though. There's grass, it's very soft grass. And you may hear some birds chirping, maybe smell a particular flower, the flower that you love. And if you look to the right, you'll see there's a forest. I call that my enchanted forest for these guided meditations. So go ahead and turn, and you're walking towards our enchanted forest, and you're excited because you know in that forest is where the tree of light is waiting to heal you. And as you get closer, you see there's a path on the left and on the right. We're going to take the right for today. We'll come back and take the left later. So as we go in, whoosh, temperature drops. Still perfect, by the way. But you know when you go into some woods or something, that temperature drops. The trees are very high. You might be smelling some pine or evergreen. But now the birds sound a little bit different. Maybe you're hearing a woodpecker. And as you're walking on the path, crunch, 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 we're winding around, and you're just taking it in. You're taking it in because you're in awe and gratitude and reverence. Up ahead, though, as we're winding, you see something that's glowing, that's very bright. And as you get closer, you realize that's the tree of light. That's the tree, and maybe you actually see a tree glowing, or maybe it's just the energetic outline. Go ahead and being it in its energy. And if you want to sit by the roots, you can. If you get permission, you can climb up to one of the branches. And you want to just sit in it. Sit in that energy, welcoming it to heal you, to do a deep healing. And as you're sitting with that energy, I am going to do some seed sound tonings, and they will just open up, recharge, and rebalance your chakras. So you can just listen to that and allow that to happen. Lam. 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 Vam. 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 Ram. 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 Yam. 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 Ham. It's time for us to leave the tree of light. If you did shimmy up one of the branches, come on down. Everyone should thank and show gratitude to the tree for the healing, for interacting with it, and start making your way down the path, backtracking where we came from. The trees are all now vibrating too. Maybe you're hearing some messages. And as we're making our way out, we're obviously showing gratitude and thanking and appreciation. We're now in our field, our beautiful field. And that is leading us back to our portal, back to this dimension. And as we're coming through the door, we're now entering back into ordinary reality, this dimension. And energetically feel yourself walking towards you and coming back fully into your body. You're disengaging from non-ordinary reality. You're further disengaging, and you're fully disengaged. And you're back fully in your bodies 100% now. Welcome back, everyone. All right. Thank you again for having me. And do we have a few minutes for questions? Any questions or feedback? How are people feeling? Yes. Hold on, let's...
I'm going to put you on the microphone so we can pick this up.
Horses call it a caretaker, not an owner.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any other feedback? How are people feeling? Questions? Oh, there's one.
You mentioned ayahuasca.
Mhm.
Are you able to just talk a little bit about that, the plant medicine?
I can talk about it. It's more of an experience, but if you come with me, it'll be over 10 days for ceremonies.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then in Peru, they go into different dimensions through plant medicine. Here in the States, we don't do it that way. We through drumming or what I just did. And so that's how they get their messages and downloads. Yeah.
I see.
Yep.
So that's part of the experience you said, right? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And people have profound transformations with it. So, and we've been hearing that people, been writing about plant medicine now, but it's very transformational. Anything else? Yeah.
Thank you. That was beautiful and very moving. So you have done this for many years. What do you feel have been the different levels achieved, or what you hope to achieve, to give us an example of what we could achieve?
Sure. And I think it's all on different steps. And I work with students that are on totally different paths. And that's why I bring up that if your life purpose is to be the best mother or grandmother, that is okay. Or if you want to be a light worker, that is okay. Or I actually even have people that are in my classes, my program, that want to stay in corporate America, and they want to be the best corporate employee at bringing light and higher vibrations. So everybody is so different. It can be little steps. People interested in climate change, it could be, hey, I'm just going to make sure I recycle properly so they don't throw away my recycling. For me in particular, it's been the whole steps of working with the Shipibo shamans, getting the message to start doing this, having faith in quitting my day job and doing this full time so that I can travel all over and bring this message. But it's really individual. And I honor that and recognize that everybody's going to be at different stages of what they want to do, and that's fine. All right, thank you so much again. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Mary. If you want more information, Mary's got a table out here in the garden room with a bunch of materials and things to look over and opportunities for you to elevate your vibration. Now we'd like to have a gratitude offering. Lake Harriet Spiritual Community doesn't really have any employees. We do this all via volunteer effort and heart energy. So we appreciate your generosity in helping fuel this beautiful vortex that we have to play in, whether it's paying the bills or property tax, all those things. So we appreciate your generosity, and ushers will pass around the baskets right now. Thank you again.
The ceiling is high to let your soul rise up to the angels who teach you to fly. And when you're weary of clouds, it helps you back down and welcomes you home to this hallowed ground. It's gilded in gold, gilded in rust, for heaven below and heaven above. The heaven we know here in this world, here in our holy church of the earth. And the windows are wide.
Okay, now if you could help us bless the offering. Invite you to raise your hands and repeat after me. Perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. All right, thank you. And Dr. Mary is going to lead us in a closing circle, so maybe we just gather around this first middle section as a form of unity.
Oop, did I do it right? I don't know. Well, this is amazing that we can get in a circle like this. And thank you for allowing me to close this circle. I appreciate being here with all the energy. We want to definitely thank Spirit, our guardian angels, spirit guides, spirit animals. We want to thank the spirit of nature, so our trees, the tree of light, plants, our ancestors, anyone here that's been supporting us today. And that we appreciate it. We're filled with awe and reverence. And we close the ceremony with love and light. We close the ceremony with love and light. We close the ceremony with love and light. Aho. Yeah.